real conversation. What if I told you that you could wake up one morning and not have to worry about sticking anything under your tongue to get through your day? What if I told you that there is a way out of that? There really is a way out of that, where you don't have to wake up tomorrow morning or Thursday morning. You don't have to wake up on June 26, 2020 and have to worry about putting something under your tongue. What if I told you that you didn't have to worry about popping a Percocet or going and hiding in the bathroom and crushing up that pill in your sister's bathroom and snorting it off her counter? What if I told you that you didn't have to worry about going on family trips or work trips or going to the park with your family or friends or your kids, and you didn't have to worry about taking drugs with you or worrying about constantly having to have that extra week's supply of pills or Suboxone or heroin with you? What if I told you that there is a for sure way out? Let that sink in for a minute. What if I told you that there is a way out? Most of you won't like this answer, or some of you, maybe all of you won't like this answer. We live in a culture now where people are just so offended by everything you say. Oh, Nick, you're not a doctor. You're not a nurse practitioner. Motherfucker. Believe it or not, I came from the streets, homeless, in jail. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and that word is called willpower and suffering. It's not taking kratom. It's not trading one thing for another. It's called living through being dope sick and puking and shitting your fucking pants, because I've been there. It's called suffering. A word that people don't like nowadays because we all want something just to happen so quick. Couple quick analogies on that point. Everybody is so quick to melt fat and burn muscle. Let's take some steroids, or let's take Adderall, or let's take this or take that. Nobody wants to do things the proper way. Everybody wants results right away. That's what it boils down to. And one thing I found over the years of my drug use is I used to be like that. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. This June or July, I can't remember which date or month, but I remember it was June or July of 2015 when I had cut myself so fucking short on Suboxone that I really, after 5 fucking years of use, had weaned myself to taking a corner of a 2 milligram strip. A 2 milligram, well, the 2 milligram back then, I don't know what they look like now, used to be more like a square, not a big rectangle like the 8 milligram or the 4 milligram strip. A 2 milligram square strip, whatever you want to call it, a Suboxone, was lasting me a week. And I remember asking myself one night, I was driving for work, I was in the Midwest, and I remember asking myself, why the fuck am I still taking this? And you know what? I stopped taking it. Didn't experience any withdrawal symptoms. Now here's where everybody's gonna hop in and start, oh, well, you're lying, or you this, or you that, or everybody's body metabolizes it. No, you fucktard. I really I weaned myself down, and I had a plan to the point where it really didn't affect me anymore. It's like people, you know those people that can smoke a cigarette every now and then, and they don't need to go, those people that smoke a cigarette like once every 6 months when they're with a crowd of people, but they don't turn it into a habit. That's what I was how do I say this? That's what I was like at the tail end of my Suboxone use. I was like a person who would smoke a cigarette every now and then, but it didn't affect me. Not quite like that, but along the same lines. It's like somebody who can drink a beer once in a while, but they don't start doing it every night. They don't wake up with a hangover. If that makes any sense. In my mind, it makes perfect sense. So that's what happened with me. After a while, I'll tell you, just like I have in my other videos, I started off taking 3 8-milligram strips of Suboxone a day. I was straight fucked up. I think the first week I was on it, I didn't shit for a week. It was fucking terrible. I mean, I was geeked up off my ass. I felt like I had taken, a 15-milligram Oxycontin and snorted one. I was fucking floating, y'all. I was feeling fucking great. Well, about a year went by and I stopped taking one of the strips. Didn't affect me at all. Another year went by, or 6 months or whatever. Can't recollect perfectly. Because, it's been 9 years since I started, and this summer will be 4 years since I've been clean. But anyways, all that to say, I'm not going to get into the backstory. If you want to know the backstory of my Suboxone, watch some of my other videos, and you can email or comment, and I can, assist further in that. I'm on limited time. All that to say this: how bad are you willing to fucking suffer? And that is a word that nobody in our culture, nobody in the world likes to hear. I don't like hearing that word. Nobody likes to suffer. Nobody likes to bear the consequences of their actions, per se. Nobody likes to wake up and say, well, holy shit, I'm 400 pounds. I need to lose weight. You're going to have to fucking suffer to lose 100 pounds. Nobody likes to wake up and say, oh, fuck, I've been on heroin for 5 years, or fuck, I've been an alcoholic. I've drank every day for 15 years, or I've smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I don't give a fuck what you are on, what you've been doing. You're gonna have to suffer. There is no easy way out. I might have not had physical withdrawals, but I've stated this a couple times in some of my videos. I had a couple months of some anxiety. I felt like a UFO was, whirring around, and I was hearing, once in a while when I'd first got off Suboxone, I wasn't puking, I wasn't throwing up. I was able to work because I had weaned myself down, so low. But I still had, anxiety. I had to take Tylenol PM to sleep. I'm not perfect. I'm not a fucking exception to the rule. All I'm saying here is nothing in life worth having is easy to attain. If you want to start a business, a buddy of mine and I started a sign business on the side outside of my day job about a year ago. It's not easy hearing no when you sit down and do a design and a quote for a customer for a month straight. Change this, change that. And then, you send them final revisions and a final quote and you never hear back from them. It's not easy. There's days where you feel like quitting, where you feel like giving up, but don't. Suffering is not forever. It might last for a day, it might last for a week, it might last for 6 months, but I guarantee you, I am not trying to sound like a motivational speaker. I'm not trying to sound like a preacher. I'm talking out of my own personal experience of blood, sweat, and fucking tears of being homeless, being in jail, stealing my mother's prescription of hydrocodone or Lortabs. I don't even know if they make Lortabs anymore. But I remember she had a knee replacement surgery and she had a prescription for 90 hydrocodones and I fucking stole her prescription. That's what a piece of fucking shit I was. But you know what? At the end of the day, I suffered through all of that bullshit. All of it. How bad do you want it? That's my question to you. People can, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna play around one more time. Last week or for the last X amount of months, I've been taking this amount of pills. Now I'm going to take, it doesn't fucking work like that. I'm telling you, you can taper with some things, but you and I both know that the majority of people in America play mind games with themselves and look back 6 years down the road, and you've dug a hole so fucking deep with your addiction that you can't even begin to wonder how you got there, why you're stuck where you are. You can't pay your fucking bills. You're going job to job. You're couch surfing. You're in and out of fucking jail. I'm telling you, it boils down to one word: suffering. Do you want to get better with your money? Do you want to get better with your relationships? Do you just want to get off drugs? Okay, well, I do have an answer for you, and it's like I've been saying for 10 and a half minutes: suffering. You got to suffer. You know, if you have been withdrawing off Suboxone, if you've been withdrawing off Percocet and Oxycontins and oxycodone and hydrocodone and what in the heck, I don't give a fuck if it's Coke. Continue to suffer. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I cannot begin to tell you people how good it feels to be clean for 3.5 years. Some days I wake up and I have such, some days are better than others, like any other day or any other person. Some days are better than others, but sometimes I wake up and I have so much energy, I feel high. And you know what it is? It's I've pushed all that bullshit out of my body by exercising and drinking water and not doing drugs and putting good things into my mind. Which, when you feed your mind good things, you will do good things. I've done that stuff repeatedly and made it a habit for so long. Some days I just feel high on life. I feel great. I can't tell you how good it feels to be out of that cloud, and how good it feels just to live a good, honest life, because I don't have to lie to anybody. I don't have to steal from anybody. I don't have to cheat anybody. I don't have to worry about driving down the street with 100 pills in my console and a state trooper gets behind me. It's a great life to be sober. And I know that we all have things that we've been through. I've had things that I've been through. But at the end of the day, think of your family. Think about your future. Think about your kids. Life, really, I know I'm still young, but in the same sense, look at my first video up until now. Look at all this gray shit coming in, man. Like, life doesn't wait for anybody. I'll be 32 in 2 days. Life waits on nobody. Nobody. Time keeps on ticking. And I'll just stress that point one more time. If you are suffering right now, good. You need to get clean, get healthy. As time goes on, you'll be able to think clearer. That anxiety will slowly go away. You'll start sleeping better. I just can't tell you the benefits of being clean. It feels great, and I wish everybody would one day feel the same. And there's videos that I watched actually this morning when I woke up. I laid in bed for a little bit watching videos of people who have gotten clean and their testimonies, per se, of being clean on being off Suboxone and off pills, and it prompted me to make this video because I want to be another drop in the hat of a person who said, you know what, I did it and so can you. I abused drugs for 11 years, 10, 11 years I abused drugs. There was a day when I used to stick fucking fentanyl patches in my mouth. I'd crush up Dilaudids and snort them. The only thing I never did was shoot needles. I was always too afraid of that, but I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I still did everything else under the sun. I've snorted heroin. I was a Class A drug addict. My pill habit at one time exceeded, on a good week, $400, and on a bad week, $200. I was pawning shit. I was stealing shit. Anything I could to get pills. And it just goes, if I can do it, and those other guys on, people are all over YouTube and Google. Not only me, there's hundreds of other people who have gotten clean and who have ways that they did it. But at the end of the day, it boils down to one thing. Are you willing to suffer? Are you willing to suffer the consequences of your actions in getting yourself hooked on this drug? If you really think about it, you don't need Suboxone. Maybe for a short amount of time, okay? In some of my other videos, I have outlined why Suboxone in the first 6 to 12 months was good for me. But at the end of the day, I didn't need it for 5 years. I didn't. And neither do you. There's people who have been on it for years. And I've met people personally who have been heroin addicts for longer than I've been alive, and they've gotten clean. If people like that can do it, and people like myself can do it, people like my brother-in-law can do it, I have other friends who have done it, not a whole lot, but there's a few of my friends who have done it, and you'll lead a much more productive life. You'll be a productive member of society, and you'll feel so much better about yourself. You'll be more honest in your business dealings, in dealings with your friends and family. You'll think a lot clearer. You'll wake up in the morning, and it'll gradually start to happen over time. You'll notice, you'll be like, holy fuck, man. Like, you'll wake up, and it's a progression. It doesn't just, boom, right away. You don't just start waking up with all this great energy. As the weeks go by, you'll feel your body build up more power, more energy, more strength. That fog that you've been in for so long will just gradually leave. It's like you're driving down a street that's super foggy and you can't see, and then little by little you can start to see the horizon in front of you, and you can start to see things more clearly, and what you're doing better, and more you can drive more clearly because you're leading out of the fog slowly. That's what it's like. At first, you're just in a dense fog, and you're like, I can't do anything. I can't see. Oh, my God. And then before you know it, you just keep going, keep going, keep going. You drive out of that fog, and then what happens when you're out of the fog? You look up, and it's sunny skies, and it's blue, and the birds are chirping, and you can hear, you can see your surroundings better. You can smell better. You can fuck better. You can make love better. You can eat better. You can sleep better. You can work better, think better, do school better. You can do life better when you're sober. That's my pointers for the day. I hope somebody out there, I hope it reaches one person. Like I always say, that's my goal, one person. Until then, leave your comments, email. I'll get back to you. Much love. Peace.